up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro.
55 seconds left in the penalty, a minute and 27 seconds left in regulation time. Boston 4, Montreal 3. Lafleur coming out rather gingerly on the right side. He gives it into Lemaire, back to Lafleur.
The sickest Montreal Canadiens podcast.
You're in the ball!
Sports entertainment like no other.
Rejoint, on lui fait perdre la rondelle, une passe devant. Et c'est le dégagement, et ce sera la victoire des Canadiens. Coupe Stanley pour les Canadiens, leur 23e de l'histoire.
You found the dogs! John, you found the dogs! He found the dogs! And all together, they work the young team to the top. And now, a 24th Stanley Cup banner will hang from the rafters of the famous Forum in Montreal. The Canadiens win the Stanley Cup.
Brought to you by Energy Transportation Group. Driven to be different. 8.6 beer. Intense by nature. And Locage. If the last time you went to Locage was when the Habs won the Cup, it's time you went back to Locage. It's gonna be sick.
Marinaro, good evening. The Sick Podcast. It is Thursday, November 10th, 10:01 p.m., and it is the Sick Podcast. Let me move this. It's in my camera here. Hold on a second. I'm not used to that. All right, okay. There's my phone on a stand, by the way, which the phone is on Twitter. But I'll move it out of the way, and I got a new stand because the one I used to have broke, and this one doesn't get up as high, and so I just noticed that it's actually in the camera, and I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, so it actually bothers me a little bit, but anyway, no big deal. We'll try and move it as much as we can over there. There we go. We're pretty good, and we're ready to go. Marc-Andre Perreault usually joins me, of TVA Sport, usually joins me on Wednesday nights, but because the Canadiens were playing last night and he works when they play, and George Larac usually joins me on Thursday nights, I gave George a call and I said, hey, George, by any chance, can you actually join me on a Wednesday night? This way I'll have Marc-Andre Perreault on Thursday night. And he said, of course I can. So we gave you George last night, and we give you the guy they call Mapper tonight. Before we get to him, the Sick Podcast brought to you in part by Energy Transportation Group. Are you in transportation sales, customer service operations, HR, or admin? Well, the good news is that Energy Transportation Group is hiring for all positions. Energy Transportation Group offers competitive compensation and benefits, a great team behind you, and opportunities for career growth and development. Join a growing team and energize your career at Energy Transportation Group. Mapper, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, look at me. I feel like $1,000,000. I went to the barber shop, asked for the Tony Marinaro haircut. Look at that.
Yeah, Tony Marinaro hasn't got a haircut in a while. As a matter of
it's all
fact,
fluffy.
There were some people yesterday that were watching that were commenting, go cut that mop. I didn't know it was a mop. Basically, what happens is I'm going to share my secret. Are you ready? Some people wear gel. Some people put mousse. Some people put wax. You know what Tony Marinaro puts in his hair when it's got the wet look? Conditioner.
Oh, conditioner.
Yes, my barber a long time ago told me, he says the healthiest thing, if you're going to put something in your hair because you want the wet look, the healthiest thing is conditioner. So when I go out, I put conditioner. When I stay home, I put nothing, and then my hair ends up looking a little bit longer than it probably would if I would actually put the conditioner.
Okay.
But anyway.
I use clay, but...
Is that right?
Yeah.
I have something for you. I don't know if you saw this. You probably did because it was tweeted like about 4 hours ago. Wow! Il est tout un intervenant à l'émission de Jean-Charles Lajoie. Il est même rendu un de mes favoris. Bravo, Mapper. Continue.
Yeah, he said before that he didn't like me at start, though.
Yeah, but I left that out, you see, to make you look good. You didn't have to throw it in there. This tweet coming from Guy Leduc,
It is what it is, right?
who says that you're one of his favorites now on Jean-Charles' TV show, GEC at TVA Sport. You're one of my favorites, too. I'm looking forward to talking Habs with you. There's so much to talk about. I'll start with this. Yeah. If I would have told you before the season started that the Canadiens would be playing the way they're playing and would have the record that they have right now, would you have believed me?
No, I would have thought you were drunk or something, because I don't think no one expected it. If someone says he did, he's a liar, because I think everyone was expecting that it would be a tough season. I mean, it's still early, but 14 games, I mean, you have an idea of where it's going.
Mm-hmm.
And after game one against Toronto, I said, you know what, just take that game and enjoy it, because there's going to be some rough times. But I thought the rough times would arrive way earlier than it actually didn't happen yet. And the thing is that this team is enthusiastic, and they never back down. They never back down. It was something we would see so often last year and years before. You don't see that now. You do not see that. If they allow the first goal, they keep on fighting, and it's really, really impressive what we're seeing from this team right now. And I had a conversation with Chris Weidman after period number 1 in Detroit. It was about that game they played, him and Pizzetta, with the coaching staff, that last 35 minutes after the morning skate. But then came after first period, asked me if I showed that game, because he thought it was so great that the coaches were playing with them. But then he left. He said, oh, by the way, I have never seen a locker room like this one. It is so fun to be part of it. And the guy is healthy scratch.
You know what? It looks like it, because it looks like there's a nice blend of young players that have been added to the veterans, and veterans that have been added to the young players, and that every group, I think, needs some youthful enthusiasm as much as every group needs the veterans and the leadership, right? The Sick Podcast, brought to you in part by Lacage. The last time you went to Lacage was when the Habs won the Cup. Well, it's time you go back to Lacage, because that would be back in 1993. The menu will surprise you. Believe me when I tell you that. Lost in the shuffle of everything that happened last night, because the first reflex is to look at all the goals and who scored them. But those goals happened for a reason. And Cole Caulfield, in all 5'7" of him, with that fire in his eyes, a la Yvon Cournoyer, decides to go after
Tyler
Myers, all 6'8" of him, and separates him from the puck. He doesn't get an assist on the play, but that goal doesn't happen if it isn't for Cole Caulfield's courage, his bite, his character.
Yeah, that's the first line. How long ago did we have a first line? And I mean, too bad Kirby Dach is, I mean, everyone wanted or expected he would be a centerman. Turns out, well, for now, he's a hell of a winger. And I mean, playing with Nick Suzuki, he's probably the brightest hockey player I've seen in Montreal for like a while. And Caulfield, the thing is, everyone was only talking about his shooting skills and his scoring skills, but I think I saw right away when he arrived that it's not, I mean, he's never going to be a Selke nominee, but he cares about the defensive game, and he knows he's not trying to give a body check to Tyler Myers. He's going to get killed, but he wanted to go, and he is going. He doesn't. Do you say shy away from that?
Shy away is exactly the way you say it.
Okay. So he doesn't shy away, and that gave a goal. And this line, I mean, for Nick Suzuki right now, probably it's going to slow down. We never know. But for now, the pace is like 53 goals. And Cole Caulfield, something like 48. It's just crazy right now.
Yeah.
And another guy who, it's only 2 goals.
Can I go back to Suzuki for a second? Because you said something that caught my attention, okay? And the Sick Podcast is brought to you in part by 8.6 beer. The can just fell. Intense by nature, the beer for those who follow their instinct and live their passions in order to make their mark. You just said that Suzuki is the smartest player they've had in a long time. So,
I think
you open the door here. Smartest player since who? Give me a forward and give me a centerman. I have one that came to mind.
Oh, it's been so long.
I have one that came to mind.
Go ahead.
I asked you for a forward. I asked you for a centerman because that's the position he plays. For me, Suzuki is the smartest player they've had since Plekanec.
But I was about to say way more talented. I don't know if the way is. he's so good. I mean,
But
he is
Plekanec,
so
smart
good.
player, very responsible, very good with his decisions. Does Suzuki have more raw talent? Yes.
I mean, it's always tough to compare, but I think Suzuki is another level. He is such a smart hockey player. I mean, and he's got those big fat cuisses.
Yes.
And the big hockey player butt, and he uses it so well.
He's kind of built like Crosby.
Kind of, yeah. Have you ever seen Crosby's legs?
Yeah, Crosby is
it's huge
from waist down. He's a truck.
Yeah,
he's
Jonathan Taze, same thing. They're so big. So
yeah,
but I don't know. I don't know if Plekanec, no offense, he was a great hockey player. I mean, great mind, but Suzuki for me, I've never seen that.
Yeah,
he is so good.
No, he's absolutely fantastic. Once again, I'm just answering the question. Smartest hockey player since, and so I'm thinking. In the last time the Canadiens had, a guy who was a real smart hockey player at center, I think was Plekanec. Now, has Suzuki supplanted him? Yes, I believe he has. Other than that, Guy Carbonneau was obviously a very smart hockey player. Had very good hockey sense. I would say that Kirk Muller had very good hockey sense. I would say that Vincent D'Anfous had very good hockey sense, but he's elite. There's no doubt about it. He's definitely elite.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Vegas would have keep Suzuki? I mean, that's a rub.
Yes, at one point everyone was saying it was a trade that worked out for both teams, but now with Max Pacioretty in Carolina no longer in Vegas, I think it's safe to say that the Montreal Canadiens won that trade. That was a good one by Marc Bergevin, who also acquired Thomas Tatar in the deal and a draft pick, who I believe ended up being Norlinder. I'm not crazy about him as a player, but Tatar for 3 years was part of Montreal's best line with Phil Deneau and Brendan Gallagher. I want to play a game with you, right? And the game is called Touchable, Untouchable. Okay.
I think I get it.
All right. I think you do too because you're a really smart guy. But be honest, okay? Be honest, right? Right?
All right. Yep.
Okay. Nick Suzuki.
Untouchable. No, I mean, no way.
Cole Caulfield.
Untouchable.
Juraj Slafkovsky.
Untouchable.
Caden Gooley.
Untouchable.
David Savard.
Touchable.
Mais oui.
But
me and your chum ce soir là, on TVA Sport là, Jean-Charles Lajoie told me that David Savard is untouchable.
That's why you're asking me.
I almost fell off my chair. Listen.
Oh my God, what
David
are you doing?
Savard, all my respect. Block shots, leader, mentor,
he's the man right now.
Great veteran. I would take him on my team. There's no doubt about it. And especially being a good Chenu here, there's added value. You can't have enough of those guys. I agree with all of that. That's one way of looking at it. But untouchable when you're in a rebuild, and you might be further along in the rebuild than you probably thought you would have, yes or no. But I offer you something really good for David Savard at the deadline, and you're not going to trade him because he's untouchable, because he provides great leadership, because he's a great mentor, because you don't have enough players playing the right side of defense. Anyway, listen, everyone has an opinion, and that was Jean-Charles' opinion earlier this evening, but he's not here to defend himself.
I think he was tired, or probably he was tired.
Oh, il était fatigué. That's what it was.
But David Savard, you were talking about that.
Cale Makar is untouchable.
Pardon me?
Cale Makar is untouchable.
Yeah, exactly. David Savard, you have to have your untouchables, but there's not a lot of untouchables. But David Savard, speaking of him, we were talking about how it's the mood in the dressing room, and the kids are having this great this great spirit. But I found out this year that David Savard is quite a funny man. He's always he's the goofy guy, and I didn't expect that. Now in Buffalo, I think he was wearing those kind of, hockey socks that it's like the those
cut resistant socks, Kevlar.
but you can see through, and I could see that there were like purple spots, blue spots. He's like, his body is very like Evgenii, because he's blocking so many shots. He's having this kind of warm towel every morning before getting on the ice. And something we did not see from David Savard, not that he was shying away, but when it gets physical, especially when Goulet's involved, he is going to go every time, no matter who is there. And he's a great leader. I mean, he is such a great leader. He would not be supposed to be on the first pair. He is, and he doesn't look bad at all. But he's not untouchable. And trust me, all my respect for David Savard. And I think it's even more a respect to say that I would trade him, because I know that the trade would be like something pretty interesting for Montreal.
Yeah. Listen, the way I look at it, like you just said, I think both goalies are touchable. All the defensemen, with the exception of Goulet, who looks like he's going to be a first pairing defenseman for over a decade, are touchable. Exactly. And in terms of the forwards, they're all touchable with the exception of Slafkovsky, because obviously, he's just scratching the surface, and he's going to be really, really good in a couple of years. Suzuki and Caulfield. And everyone else that's there on offense right now is touchable. I mean, that's the way I see it.
But sometimes, I'm gonna use but talking about the fans, and we fall in love with the players we see every day.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. I mean, it's easy to fall in love with David Savard right now, but I mean, you have to use your assets to get something else. The way you sended Pacioretty for a guy named Nick Suzuki, the way you got Phil Dano for Dale Weiss and Thomas Fleischmann and things like that. I mean, you have to give something to hope to have something, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and listen, I don't know if I would use the term untouchable, but Kirby Dach is not a guy that you can trade right now, because he's playing on the first line with those guys, and he's like, they're like bread and butter, right? So it's unbelievable. Yeah. I'm so enjoying this offensive part of the game, but I have to tell you, this is what I expected. This is why I've endorsed the hiring of Marty St. Louis since day one. I thought, even though he did not have a lot of experience, considering the circumstances and considering what they're trying to accomplish here, that they're in a rebuild, and they're going to, they have time to be able to bring in a teacher to try and teach guys, hockey IQ, teach them certain skills, make their value go higher, put them in confidence, play a brand of offense. I really think Marty St. Louis was just what the doctor ordered. I thought that when they hired him. I think that today, and I'm enjoying watching this team play. They're fun to watch.
They listen to him, and the word he said so many times in that long interview with Jean-Charles, enthusiast. For him, it's the most important thing. It has to be fun going at the rink, and he takes the time with every player, everywhere in the lineup. Again, he spent 35 minutes. It's a game day. Morning skate, he spends 35 minutes with the scratches, and he's a guy who's really honest and respectful. And we had another example last night. I don't know if you watched his press conference. It's tough for the coach of the Montreal Canadiens. You have to answer a question in English, then you switch to French, you switch to English. Sometimes same questions, both languages. Sometimes that guy who is late at the party asked the question, but anyways, and now he answers the question in English. Next question is in French, but he answers in English, because you know how it works. Sometimes your brain just doesn't do the switch. So anyway,
it's you that asked it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It was my colleague right in front of me, but then he answered in English, and then everyone was like, say, time out, Marty. You didn't make the switch. But his reaction, he's like, whoa, did I do that? Okay, can you ask me the question again? I want to answer it in French.
Wow.
for me, it's maybe it's just it's not a big thing for you, but for me, it shows a lot of respect. He insists to answer the question in the language it was asked.
Listen,
so anyways,
you ever hear Marty St. Louis talk about his father and his late mother? He was brought up the right way. He's a good man. He's a good man. He's a good man.
And
he comes
I
from
don't
a good
think I
family.
expected it. I didn't expect that, because at first I don't have a lot of
during his
memories
playing career. He wasn't easy to interview, eh?
Well, I did not. I think I interviewed him like once or twice, and I didn't think it went well. Probably because I was a young journalist, but he was not. He was a tough customer, but you know, the way I work, it's very light. I mean, I'm serious, but I'm you know, I like to have fun.
Yes.
We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So that's the way I live my life.
I think everyone watching has been able to see that already with you, and I think it's something they appreciate. Judging from the comments, I think they're pretty happy that they were able to discover you on the show.
Well, I really appreciate that, and I think Marty likes it as well. We're not friends. I mean, we're not friends. It's not my job to be friend with. I don't want to be a friend with him. But
T'as pas son numéro. You don't have his number.
No. But our professional, I was kind of not scared, but I thought, from what I know from him, will he be that guy who, is, like my funny side? And so far, so good. I think he loves it, but enthusiasm. Enthusiasm.
Yeah, enthusiasm or enthusiastic, right? You can.
So anyways, he's a guy like that, and he's having fun out there. You can see it on the practice. He's like sliding to show everything, the drills. And so here's obviously, but he's a big reason why things are going that way right now.
Speaking of big tree trunks for thighs and legs, I remember when he was playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and early on I would do some reporting when I started off in the biz, and the first thing I noticed was, he had like the biggest legs on that team, right?
Still.
And he played on a team with Vinny Lecavalier, and Vinny Lecavalier was over 6'4", and Marty St. Louis was like 5'7", right? Type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not even. And he had the biggest legs on the team. But the other thing I remember is, he kind of like, if he saw you approaching, kind of like give you this look where he wasn't in a good mood, and it was like, don't talk to me type of thing. And it's funny the way he's changed over the years, and obviously he had to. He's coach of the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You have to talk. But anyway, it's a lot. Speaking of which, it looks like he's found a way to get to Mike Hoffman because he's stuck with Hoffman. Hey, listen, he talked about Hoffman. What was it? 2 weeks ago?
With poise, and I
grit.
like the way he's reading. Poise, grit, and I like the way he's reading the ice offensively and blah blah blah. I mean, he was really scratching his back, but it's been only 2 games, but I mean, he's scoring some goals, and Mike Hoffman needs to score a goal or he's useless. So he's doing well, and that's that. And he pushes the right button, tell the guy what he wants to hear and also what he wants to see, and it seems like it works. The only bad thing about Marty St. Louis is for tanking lovers like you.
Yeah.
That I mean, you must be pretty sad.
Well, listen. I don't remember
tanking
a coach.
Lover.
I don't remember a coach trying to tank. Last year, the Canadiens tanked. Why did they tank? It happened organically. The general manager traded away Arturi Lehkonen. He traded away Brett Kulak. He traded away Tyler Toffoli. He traded away Ben Sherratt. It wasn't a very good team to begin with. Carey Price only played the last 5 games of the regular season, and he wasn't all that great. Obviously, he wasn't himself. Joel Edmondson was gone at the beginning of the season. Paul Byron was gone at the beginning of the season. Shea Weber had unofficially retired. Carey Price was in the player assistance program and once again only played the last 5 games. The tank last year happened organically, right? They had lost Philip Deneau to free agency. Thomas Tatar had left to go to New Jersey Devils. Deneau had left to go to the Los Angeles Kings. Eric Stahl, had not returned. the tank happened organically. With Marty St. Louis or not, Marty still tried to coach to win games, but it wasn't going to happen. They weren't good enough. So, yes, they're supposed to be in a rebuild. Yes, I wish they would slow down with the winning and they would win less. But the way that's going to happen is, they'd have to run into some injury trouble. One of them would have to be to one of their goalies. Let's say a Jake Allen gets hurt, for example, which I don't wish that on anybody. And then at one point, you're going to have to trade away your depth, because even though some of the veterans aren't doing much, if you trade away your depth, you got less depth, and you're bringing up American Hockey League depth. That's a way that, the team could lose more games. But, Marty St. Louis got a coach to win. When they scored goals yesterday early on and the camera went to the bench, he was all excited.
Of course. And I mean, when the trading deadlines will arrive, I mean, if Montreal received a first rounder not protected for Ben Chirot plus a young player, we were talking about David Savard. Right now, he's worth more than that. So without David Savard, it's not tanking. But I mean, we should stop talking about the David Savard, because people will think he's on the trading blocks. That's not the point. But
hey, I mentioned this last night. George Larac joined me on the program. Drouin was better last night. I'm not gonna go overboard and make it sound like he was great. He was better. Obviously, there's a pass that happens on the Suzuki goal, and he was better.
It's all about expectations for Jonathan Drouin. I mean, that's it. He's making too much money for what he brings. Everybody knows that. Now, it's all about expectations. He is not playing bad at all. He's not playing like a first liner that we thought Marc Bergevin acquired against Sergachev. It did not happen. I think a lot of people thought it would. I thought it was a great trade at the moment, but it didn't work out, and it's okay. But when you lower your expectations with Jonathan Drouin and you look at him objectively, he is not playing bad. He's never gonna be the one who's gonna go like face down like Gallagher and grabbing Demko and the other. It's not gonna happen. But he is not playing that bad. I mean, for now, he's doing enough to stay in the lineup, and it's just so easy to like.
Where do you see him
next year?
Where do you see him next year?
Oh, you know what? I don't know, but my guess is not in the NHL.
Switzerland?
I think it would be great for him. I really wish this guy like good things. He did not deserve all the hate he got. I mean, he's not a bad person. He's raising money for kids, for hospitals, and he's not going in the corner and fight and give some. He doesn't like to get hit. Okay, that's fine. We all know he is not a bad person. So I wish him the best. And
for sure, but there's not too many bad people in that locker room. But I think it also has to do with the level of animosity from some fans and stuff like that is because of who they gave up in the trade, which, obviously he did not trade, Mikhail Sergachev for himself. So,
do you think it's the same in Vegas? Do you think they trash talk Pacioretty because we have Suzuki in Montreal? Do you think they trash talk against Fleischmann or Weiss because Dano was here? I mean, they didn't stay there for long, but it's just too much hate. For what? For a hockey player? I mean, if you have so much time to spend hating someone, get a life. And
listen, hate is a big word, and I don't know why anyone would hate a hockey player. I think he gets a lot of heat because
heat is fine. Heat is fine. That's okay. Everybody can have an opinion. They can have an opinion about you, about me, about the hockey players. I mean, we're working in the public. That's fine. But hate, I don't buy that, and no one deserves it, especially not for hockey. Yeah. So getting back to your question, I wish him like something good money in Europe and where it's wider, where he doesn't get hit too much, doesn't need all the NHL stuff. And I wish him a lot of game under par golfing.
It's the most passionate fan base in the league, and they know their hockey better than any other fan base in the National Hockey League. So
great fan base.
When a fan base looks at a player and dissects his every move and his every shift, and they don't think that he's giving nearly as much as he can, if I was Jonathan, stay off of social media.
That's fine. People have the right to do it. That's fine. Yeah. But again, there's a line between critics and hate. So I don't know why we got there, but that's my hate. It's no good in the world.
Yeah, no, of course not. You're right about that. Hey, listen, comment sick and hit the like button. If you're watching right now on YouTube, on Facebook, or on Twitter, we are live. We go live Monday to Friday with Matt O'Hayan on Friday night starting at 10 p.m. and me, Marinaro, Monday to Thursday. And if you're watching on Facebook or on Twitter, but you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, please do so. And if you're going to listen via Google, Apple, or Spotify, leave us a 5-star review. The more 5-star reviews you leave, the better we're rated. The better we're rated, the better we're rated. Put it that way. All right. So, we can't talk about Hoffman and Drouin without talking about Dadonov. It's tough to watch, eh? It's really
it's
tough
sad
to watch.
It's all this virus thing was just too much. Dadonov, obviously he's not happy, and he said it. He told it. His agent called Kent Hughes and the virus thing. But you're stuck with him, right? It was the price to pay to get rid of the Weber contract. What do you want to do? It's like everybody was in the organization were crossing their fingers. So he put some point and has a value at the trade deadline, but it's not gonna happen. So you're stuck with him. But every team are stuck with Dadonov at some point, or pretty much all the team. You're stuck with him. But Martin St. He's very honest, and he's gonna put his best lineup every night. So it's far from being impossible that Dadonov will watch some games from the press box. That's a real possibility. So, but you're stuck with him as much as you're stuck with all the guys we talked about. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. And Dadonov, it was a long shot, but at the end of the day, the main point to get him was not his hockey skill, right?
Yeah, he went from 65 points with the Panthers to 70 points with the Panthers, then 47 points in 69 games. He went down to 20 points the next year in 55 games. He went back up to 43 points in 78 games last year with the Vegas Golden Knights. This year he's played 10 games, 0 goals, 0 assists, 0 points, 0 penalty minutes, -4. Yeah. I can't remember the last time a player has dropped off the radar like this and looks done at the age of 33. Like he's 33, looking like he's going on 42 as a hockey player. He's just lost all his ability. He looks done at 33. Hockey players usually aren't done at 33, not the skilled ones. Like you lose a second here and there, but you don't look done. He looks done.
To give you an idea of how much he doesn't fit in Marty's lineup, he tried him on the PK. And who was it? I think it was Mike Matheson who said that at one point he thought he was one of the best players in the league on the power play. But he's on the wall. He did some shift on the PK. And I think after, was it game 1? I think he played more minutes on the penalty kill than all of his past seasons. So that Marty St. tried to find a spot for him, but what do you want to do? He is, I don't know. He had some good flash last night, so I think it was probably his best game, but it comes down to expectations again. What did you expect from a guy Vegas gave away? And take a big contract. So it's yeah.
Raymond Singh says PK Subban was done at 33. He's not wrong entirely because PK retired at 33, but I think PK brought more to the table last year than Dadonov did.
Good leadership. We've heard so many good things from PK.
Actually,
in
Dadonov
New
had
Jersey.
43 points last year, so I might be wrong on that one, but yeah.
No, but PK, we were all surprised because Amanda Stein, she's like the Devils reporter for the team, and she was there when PK was in Montreal, and she kept on saying he was not the same person, and he was very loved in the locker room, good leader. So he brought that for sure last year. But now I think that his mind was not there anymore, and lots of injuries. But hey, I mean, he fits so good like on TV. So for him, it's just normal. So.
Hey, not a bad contract by Kent Hughes to Kirby Dach. When we revisit it now, a 4-year deal at a total of $13.4 million, an annual cap hit of 3.36. He's playing on the first line with Suzuki and Caulfield, and he's scoring goals and picking up points at 100 miles an hour. That's a great value. Like for 4 years, they got Kirby Dach at 3.36. What a great contract.
12 points, 14 games.
Yeah, what a great contract.
Well, so far, did Kent Hughes made a mistake so far, like a big mistake? Not really, and he's an agent, so he knows a thing or two about negotiations. And actually, it's obviously a great contract. Reminds me of the Pacioretty deal at 4.5 for like 7 years, and he was like scoring like so many goals, and it was didn't he?
We at one point during the show early on, we talked about what a passionate fan base the Montreal Canadiens fan base is, right? Because it's Montreal and their fans, and this has been going on for a long time. There's a lot of people in this city who think they actually know more than the general manager, right? Who think they're smarter than the GM or they're smarter than the management team. And I know one longtime radio host of about 20 years who actually thought that he was too. But all kidding aside, this management team, like what a great management team. They are clinical. They are analytical. They are surgical. Like
they have a plan and they are confident in that plan.
And they stick to the plan. They're not going to deviate from the plan.
Exactly.
They
really trust their plan.
It might go faster because the prospects might develop faster. They might do real good work with the development. But man, like if you get invited somewhere and Kent Hughes and Jeff Gordon are there, you're not going to feel like you're smarter than the general manager or the executive vice president of hockey operations. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had the chance to speak with Kent Hughes about Dadonov, and he talked to me for like the whole intermission, 18 minutes. And this guy, when you ask him a question, you're gonna get the right answer. If he can't give you the right answer or the real answer, he's just gonna say, I can't really say it, but he's never gonna lie to you or try to put you on another path. Or he really impresses me. And again, they trust their plan. They have their plan. I mean, it was so outside of the box. You remember when nobody was talking about Kent Hughes, and then when he got named, like a lot of people said, I called it bull crap. Nobody called that. It was so much outside of the box, and right now, again, they won't panic, and that's so important. We see so many GMs that panics, and it breaks everything. So for that, we can trust the management. And we were talking about so many coaches in the province. Dominique Duchamp said, I have 8 million assistant coach with me.
Mapper, that's
he was right.
That's an awesome point when you bring up, when you talked about Ken Hughes and you said, once he was hired, a lot of people said that they had thought it was going to be him. With all due respect to all the candidates, you remember the city of Montreal and the province of Quebec and the Montreal Canadiens fan base was torn. There were a lot of names And there were a
Mathieu
lot of
Darche,
good
Daniel
names.
Brière.
Mathieu Darche, Daniel Brière, Roberto Luongo, Martin Madden, right?
Martin Madden,
Kent Hughes, Stéphane Quintal. His name came up.
Well, Kent Hughes, I mean, the name came out like late in the process.
Yeah.
And again,
Emily
I thought
Castonguay.
Émilie Castonguay, was she interviewed? I know,
Yeah, she was
not
interviewed.
Goyette. She was? Okay, her and, another woman, like, her name is, but anyways, um, I I heard that after the first round of interviews, Danny Brière had a great first interview. Like a lot of people were shocked
Yeah.
of how good he was in that interview. But I think Kent Hughes, for some reason, well, for because of Garten, I think he was way in front, and probably the decision was already made. But for respecting the process, they made the process. But I don't think who can say they called it? No one.
Patrick Roy's name was out there. I never thought that he was going to get the job. I never thought he was going to get hired.
No.
But his name came up. His name came up.
But so far, I mean, nobody can complain, right?
You mentioned there was another woman. Jeez, I'm drawing
the
a blank
Daniel Sauvageau.
Daniel Sauvageau. Yeah.
Daniel Sauvageau.
Yeah, and there was. It's funny that we talk about this now, but now There was one other candidate that I think was. Who was it again?
Darche, Brière, Madden, Sauvageau, Émilie Castonguay, Roy. Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I'm gonna try and actually Google it myself here.
Yeah.
Marc Denis.
Marc Denis, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Marc Denis. Yeah. That's the one that we were missing there, and everyone would have been able to bring something to the table. They all have qualities,
of course.
But I mean, you watch what Kent Hughes has been able to do right now, and just the way he's able to handle himself. And by the way, also, I think every time we hear him speak, and more and more comfortable and more assertive and more confident and stuff like that, it's we thought it was going to be such a tough process and so difficult. Right now, Kent Hughes looks like a no-brainer,
But the more we discover the man, the more it becomes a no-brainer. And I mean, Garten was right, and they had the power to bring Martin St. here. Another name that if anyone say I called it, it's not true. You did not call it.
You know my Marty St. Louis story? Go
ahead.
The day that he was hired, Dominic Ducharme was relieved of his duties, I think, around 1:30 in the afternoon or something, okay?
Yeah.
The day that he was hired, the Canadiens, I think, were playing... I don't remember who they were. Anyway, that doesn't matter.
Where were we? No, it was here. It was New Jersey. That was or Washington in town.
Yeah, I think Washington was his first game, okay? And I think they lost, whatever, I think 5-2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, they lost the first 3 games.
Yeah, but that day, I sent a text message to a colleague of mine. And I said to him, I'd hire Marty St. Louis as a development coach. That was at 11:10 in the morning.
Really?
And 4 hours later, he was hired as the head coach or the interim head coach. That was pretty funny. Yeah, but I sent the text message saying I'd hire him as a development coach because I thought he could teach the players and he'd be good for the power play and he'd be like a. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna trust you on that. But,
I got back to my colleague that day and I said to him,
do I look brilliant now?
You know what? I'm wondering if I.
He said I don't only look good, I'm brilliant as well. Are you texting me?
No.
Hey, by the way, I think it was the first week while you're searching that I sent a text to Dom Ducharme saying, thanks for everything. It was a pleasure working with you. And
Okay.
the guy got fired like few days. Was it? I think it was the same night. And he answered me like the guy has class. He's like Dominique Duchamp is a great person. He received a lot of heat as well, but
Yeah.
he's a class act. And he answered, took the time to send the text saying, you know what, thanks, it was a pleasure as well, and blah 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 blah. I thought it was great.
Wow.
He's a great person.
Well,
Dominique
you know
Duchamp
what? I mean, that's
person.
a pretty classy gesture from you as well. So I think I'll throw the flowers back at you.
We see them every day, and we spend time every day. We're not friends, but I wouldn't say colleague because we're not working for the same company, but it's a close relationship, and you cannot have a bad relationship. And there's a lot of respect. And again, I really respect all the coaches. It is not easy to coach the Montreal Canadiens. I mean, the pressure, yes, but also the language thing, and it's nonstop. Where there's so many journalists asking everything. So, anyway,
it is easy to podcast with you. It's a very fluid conversation. It's very, very natural. I enjoy it a lot. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do, and I look forward to talking to you again next week, mon chum.
It's an honor, my friend. And
right.
So you're kicking me out, right?
I'm going to go to Chris Latournade, who owns his own card store, and I think he might actually do something special for us. And he's educating me on sports cards, and so we have something planned, which I think is kind of cool. And
all right,
just remember, your ex-girlfriend wore a shirt that said, "I'm a Tony Marinaro girl," or "I'm a Tony Marinaro."
I'm trying to delete it from my head.
Yeah,
seeing her with the t-shirt.
Yeah, she's got style. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.
Let's talk sports cards with my buddy Chris Latournade.
Sick Sports Cards. Presented by Sports Latournade.
Sick Sports Cards is presented by Sports Latournade. Sports cards, collectibles, and more. Visit the store at 1 Avenue de la Fabrique in Vaudreuil-Dorion. There he is. Look at this guy. What a piece of work he is. What's going on, Chris? I don't hear you, bud. Yeah, you got to fix that. You got to put some volume here. I don't hear you. Now I'm going to think it's me that I don't hear, actually. Listen to this. No, I don't hear you, bud. Log off and then come back on. Yeah, that's the beauty of podcasting. When you go live, these things happen, my friend. I think Chris is going to end up opening up sports cards without actually having any volume here. But anyway, he's going to join us. We're going to figure it out, or he's going to figure it out. I'm sure Agnello and Sammy back at Master Control are going to help him figure it out. In the meantime, I'll tell you this. If you're enjoying the podcast, hit the like button, share it with your friends, tell them all about it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free. It's absolutely free, our YouTube channel. And you're watching right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And once again, comment sick and hit the like button. And tomorrow, if you start listening to the Apple social media platform, or Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts, or Spotify, you leave us a 5-star review. It's going to go a long way with us. We really appreciate it, because we had one that wasn't a 5-star review, and I haven't slept since. So if you can flood it with 5-star reviews, I'll be a pretty happy guy. I think Chris still hasn't figured it out, or we're trying to help him. It didn't look like his mic was on, though, right? Or it's got to be. Hey, there we go. I hear it already.
Can you hear me?
I can. What happened? What happened there exactly?
I have no idea. I'm at a hotel in Toronto, and
blame it on the hotel.
I guess so.
Hey, you are you're at the card show, right? A big card show going on in Toronto. Does it start tomorrow, I think, or?
That's right. Tomorrow morning we'll be starting at the card show here in Toronto at the International Center.
All right. So, I mean, there was one in Montreal. What was it, last week or the week before, or whatever? Is this kind of like an extension of that, but on another level type of thing, or it's got nothing to do with that one?
There's a lot of the same vendors. I would say this one is much bigger scale. This one is the biggest one in Canada. They have it every 6 months, and it's just a bigger version.
How many people are going to be there?
I want to say vendors maybe around the 300 or so.
About 300 vendors. All right. Okay. So
Yeah.
and clearly, I mean, if you're there, this is something that is worth your while. My question to you is, you talked to us about a very expensive card that you had a week ago, which was the Gretzky card, which was a 1 of 1. It wasn't his rookie card, but it was the only one in the world. And you valued it, if memory serves me well, this was 2 weeks ago. I believe you valued it at around $15,000. Did you bring it with you?
Yes, I do. I have it with me. I will go around tomorrow with my backpack. I will have it with me. It's part of the deal here. Is a lot of trades, a lot of sales. A lot of discussions with other dealers here. So yeah.
So you're selling that card this weekend?
I don't know. It depends. If I get the right deal, the right buyer, I could let it go. Yeah.
The right deal would be what?
It would have to be a trade. If we're going to trade something, obviously you want to trade for a little bit higher value if you're going to get a card in return, or even 3-4 cards in return. Otherwise, it could be, you try to go with the streaky players. Like I was talking about Caulfield last time. You want to get someone that's hot. You want to get someone that you can invest in, guys that are up and coming, stuff like that. You might want to trade for a bigger rookie card per se. Than yeah.
It's probably a stupid question, but I've asked many before. I'm going to ask it anyway. You're going to be at this exposition. There's going to be about 300 vendors. There's going to be a lot of people there that are going to know their cards inside out, know what they're really talking about. How does one brush up on player cards so that you could be the guru of player cards? Like, is there like tutorials online or this or that or whatever? Like, what do you do to know your cards inside out? Because there's going to be people there that there's going to be some that know their cards more than others. How could you be one of those guys?
There is, and it's like many other things. You have to put the time in. I watch a lot of hockey. I follow the juniors. I follow the rookies. Not, as much as, you want to interested in your hometown team, you want to also look at other teams and see what's coming. And you have to also read up on the new releases. So anything that's a new release, you want to know what the rookies are coming out and stuff like that. And you try to get ahead of the game in that aspect.
All right. I think you mentioned to me something about opening up a box. Is there a new box that came out, and how often do boxes of cards come out?
So every year there's a series. The most sought after series is the Series 1 and the Series 2 from Upper Deck. Every year they come out. Series 1 usually comes out in November, right around this time. And I believe they try to time it exactly for the show. So this came out on Wednesday. I'm going to show you. I have the box right here. So this is a 22-23 Series 1. So this box here came out on Wednesday. It's going to be hot at the card show. Many people, the dealers there will have it. Upper Deck do have events including it. If you open it up, they'll give you some free stuff to get maybe something big in sense of like a redemption card or something like that. So yeah, this is hot off the press. This is the talk of the town.
So somebody comes see you at your table and they want to buy that box. How much is that box?
So I can't actually say the price online. So anyone who wants to message me privately at Spallet Tornade, I would gladly give you the price. But we sign license agreements with Upper Deck, and we're not allowed to divulge that live. Yeah, it's in
the 3 digits or 4 digits, or what is it? I have no idea what this goes for.
It's in the 3 digits.
It's in the 3 digits for a box. Okay,
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
And how many cards you get in that box?
So this one here has got 24 packs of 8 cards per pack.
Okay.
Yeah.
24 cards of 8 cards per pack.
24 packs of 8 cards.
Okay, 192 cards.
That's right.
You see the way I did that?
Yeah, your math is on. Yeah.
Not bad, eh? 24 times 8, 32. 2 carry the 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know what? I did it, but I think I still got it wrong. But anyway, are you gonna open this
You
box
want-
in front of us? And if you do, what happens after? Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna open all the packs?
So I can open up all the packs if you want. It takes roughly about 15 minutes. So if you have time,
I don't want you to do that. Okay, but why don't you just go open up a couple of packs? Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
If you get some great cards, we'll stop there. If you don't, we'll go fishing for more.
Okay, good. Here we go. So
There we go.
Yeah, here we go. So I don't, because I'm in the hotel, I don't have my double camera, but
No, don't worry about it. This is perfect. It's fantastic.
so I'm gonna take out here. I'll take out a stack here. Here's a stack.
Before you open it,
Yeah.
That box sells for an amount in the 3 digits.
Yes.
Is there a card in that box that's worth more than the 3 digits already?
Yeah. I would say. Let's go with Marco Rossi or Matt Boldy, the Young Guns.
Yeah.
You can also get. I'll explain it as I open. I will explain a little bit more on what you could get and what would be worth more.
Okay, go for it.
All right. So we'll try. We'll try out. So each box like this has 6 Young Guns. So there's 50 young. There's 50 Young Guns per set.
Okay.
And
no more gum in the packs, the way OPG used to do it back in the day.
No more gum in the packs. So there's 6 Young Guns per box, and there's 50 total if you want to make the whole set.
Okay.
So when people open these packs, basically there's 7 cards in here that are going to be called their base cards. Okay. Base cards you have from 1 to 200. It's to do the base set. Some people do it, some people don't. A lot of people can, for instance, the base cards at my store, I usually pack them up and give them to minor hockey to the kids. So they're not really that valuable. So there's one card in each. There's one card in each pack that's actually an insert, or a Young Guns. That's the one that you're looking for in every pack. Got it. All right. So in this, I'm just going to flip through the inserts and through the base cards, and I'll show you what the insert would be in this. So is there a reflection there? That's a Ryan O'Reilly. It's called Center of Attention. That's an insert card. It's kind of a set within the set. So you can look up in the checklist and look at a Ryan Center of Attention, and there might be 50 of those, right? Mm-hmm. So some people like to do the master set. The master set would be collect all 200 base cards. You want to collect all 50 Young Guns, and then you can do the inserts, which you have Center of Attention. You have some called UD Portraits, which I'll show you. So I'll flip. Mm-hmm. I'll flip through. I flip through the base cards. Here's another one here. It's called the Superstar Honor Roll. So this one here is a Frederick Anderson with the Carolina Hurricanes. Yeah. So I'm going to try and pull you out of Young Guns to something decent here. All right. I've never done this before, by the way, this unpacking here. What is this called? It's called unpacking. Is that what it's called? Or? Yeah, I guess we call it opening a box. Opening a box, yeah. Yeah, we also call them box breaks often. Like we can do it. Yeah. I do live videos for people online that just want me to open. So here's our first Young Guns. It's actually a good one. This guy's Matthias Michelli. He's actually a good rookie to get. He's one of maybe your top 10 rookies in the set. He's from the Arizona Coyotes. So now at this point, I can explain to you is that there's Young Guns like this. You also have different version of the Young Guns or different variations. So you can get the Young Guns you can get a Young Guns exclusive, which would be numbered to 100. This one here is not numbered, but the Young Guns exclusive would be worth a lot more money out of 100. Or you could get a Young Guns clear cut or a Young Guns high gloss, which would be numbered to 10. So if you get a numbered one, it's going to be worth a lot more than just your regular one. This guy knows his stuff. There's no doubt about it. Right. And I'll show you a different version. Actually, I'm going to cheat a little bit. This is not coming out of a pack. This is what we got this week. Okay. So this one is a Marco Rossi Young Guns black. Young Guns canvas black. So the black, they're a little bit more rare. So on the back of each box, I don't know how much you can see on the back. It looks like a lot of writing there, but all your odds are here on the back of that box. So if you read up, you can read up, and you'll see Young Guns 1 in every 6 packs, or if you want to look at the canvas black, it might be 1 in 400 and something packs, which would be the rare. The more rare the card, the better.
Yeah.
So we can whip through a few more here.
Yeah. 2 more packs. This one and another pack.
No problem. So here we go. Here's what another variation. So this is a Lucas Raymond portraits.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, it's a good looking card. They have gotten better last year. I find them to be nicer than last year, but every year they come out, they change each like a UD portrait existed last year, but I find them a little bit nicer this year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do one more. It would be nice to get a Boldy here. And this is another one here. This is actually another Detroit Red Wing Mort Cider. So this is a debut dates. This one here it's okay. It's another insert. You'd have to do make the set and make it worthwhile. Nothing big.
What does his rookie card go for? Mort Cider. You won the rookie of the year last year.
Yes. A Mort Cider Young Guns is about now anywhere between $75 and $100.
I'll buy that one.
Yeah.
You have any?
Yeah, I do actually. I do have a regular one that's not graded, and like we talked about the graded cards, I do have a PSA 10, which would make it worth almost $250 to $300.
Okay, that makes sense. Sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because for a second there, when you said $75 for his rookie card, I was thinking, wow, like for a mint rookie card, but a PSA 10, then is about $250. Because I think Mort Cider is going to win another Calder, maybe even 2 more.
Yeah, he's had a slower start this year than he did last year, but
yes.
He's definitely. I mean, I watched it the other night when Detroit played Montreal. And
not a Calder. Pardon me, not a Calder. I said a Calder, but I think he's going to win the Norris.
The Norris, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, maybe even a couple. He kind of reminds me of a young Victor Hedman, but you're right. His season is not as good as it was a year ago.
Yeah.
But that kid is good.
Right.
That kid is good. Why don't we do one more pack before I hit the sack?
No problem. Actually, here.
You like that one?
I can show you what we have. For all the Montreal Canadiens fans, this is what you're going to find in this series is the Jordan Harris.
Okay.
And there's a variation of Young Guns that they've made in the last couple of years. I don't know how much you can see of that, but it says, instead of saying Young Guns, it says Jeune Loup.
Jeune Loup.
Jeune Loup pour les Français.
Wow. If they have cards in Italy, they would call them Emositu. Here it's Jeune Loup. In Italy, it's Emositu.
So the Jeune Loup are actually more rare than the regular Young Guns.
Yeah, les Jeune Loup et Mositu.
There you go. So this will be the last one for tonight. For this,
last one for tonight.
This is a canvas, Nashville Predators.
And then, by the way, we're going to take 3 questions for you. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So get your questions, start sending them in, and then Yellow and Sammy will send them through. Go back. Pardon me for interrupting you. Go ahead. You're Roman Yossi?
Yeah, Roman Yossi. This is the canvas version. So the cards are they're a little bit the different texture. They have a canvas look to them. So the Young Guns can also come in a canvas. You can get a Young Guns regular and you can get a Young Guns canvas.
I like it. And Yellow, send us 3 questions over. We'll ask, there is coming from Raymond Singh. Tony, can you ask him if he buys cards at his store?
Yeah. So anyone that comes in, I definitely evaluate, and I can buy cards at my store. We do offer trades. We can offer some store credit and or buy outright. But yes, of course we do.
Next. Sabos, how much value would B cards collected in 2000s? They're not these fancy things, black cards and stuff. I have no idea what he's talking about, by the way.
Would be okay. So B cards. In the early 2000s. I'm guessing he's talking about the early 2000s.
Correct.
So in the early 2000s is actually when the cards started to boom again. They brought back, like we discussed last time, the numberizing the cards and making them a little bit more rare, printing a little bit less. The quality really became much better. And then Upper Deck obviously got the license with the NHL and became exclusive and really changed the game from there.
Last question. Neil Unsworth. Love the card feature. May start collecting again. How much does he charge to grade collections?
So I don't actually grade the collections myself. If you want to bring a card to the store, we can have it sent away to be graded to PSA or Beckett. There's different charges for different cards.
This is the way a jeweler would grade a diamond.
Right, exactly. So if you want to get your card graded, if you have a Wayne Gretzky, a Bobby Orr, whatever it has it, you can bring the card to me, and I will gladly send it away for you. But there's different costs for different cards. So if you want to send a card that's worth, say, $0 to $200 US, it's going to cost you somewhere around $30. If you want to send a more valuable card, the more valuable the card is, the more you're going to pay, and the faster. And it all depends how fast you want to get your card to. So you can it's like a shipping when you ship your mail. You can fast track it, or you can just say, I want the regular mail. It takes 6 months. So what? And I want to pay a little bit less. So that's how it works.
Chris, great tutorial on sports cards. A lot of information. I love the pace. I love the energy. Have fun in Toronto this weekend. Sell a lot of cards. Make a lot of money. He's Chris Latournette. Thanks for doing this, bud.
Thanks.
Go check him out at his store at 1 Avenue de la Fabrique in Vaudreuil-Dorion. I'm Marinaro. Once again, special thanks to 8.6 Beer, Intense by Nature, La Cage, and Energy Transportation Group. A shout out to Playground that has over 600 machines, poker tournaments, and playground casino games, daily promotions, and unmatched customer service. Why go anywhere else? Located just over the Mercier Bridge, only minutes from downtown Montreal. To all of you who are watching on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, all the chats, all the comments, thank you so much for being a sick army and being as engaging as you are. This podcast is doing something pretty special because of you and because of our sponsors. So thank you to you. Thanks to them. And we are the Sick Podcast, Monday to Friday, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern or right after the Montreal Canadiens hockey game if it ends after 10 p.m. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time, same place, only this time with Matt O'Hayan in for me because I like to have my long weekends off. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'm Marinaro.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Tony Marinaro on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts. The Sick Podcast is brought to you by Energy Transportation Group, driven to be different, 8.6, intense by nature, and La Cage. If the last time you went to La Cage was when the Habs won the cup, it's time you went back to La Cage. The menu will surprise you.